Look at Logan with the good ideas.
It says live. Okay. Yep, I see both of you. I got my audio feedback.
Can you hear it?
Well, I'm pretty sure if he could hear himself through the mics, he'll text me if he can't hear us through the mics. He'll text me if he can't hear us. All right, cool. So, Adam, if you can hear us, post the District 14 YouTube link, since the podcast YouTube link will not work for another 24 hours. All right, so starting a little bit later than we thought we were going to. Neither Logan nor I are tech people. As you can see, we got cords running everywhere, and things are just kind of. It's the first one. It's a dry run. It'll get better. So we want to welcome everybody to the Dirt Bike Download presented by District 14. It's something new we're doing. This first show probably won't be as long as the upcoming shows because we're just kind of getting our feet wet. But it's just a new way for us to get information out to the public. There's an email address attached to this where you can send in questions. You can comment on the live streams and ask questions. We'll do our best to answer them. For those of you that don't know me, my name is James Elkins. I am the District 14 Vice President. To my left is Logan Densmore, Chairman of the Michigan Sprint Enduro, owner of the Michigan Sprint Enduro Series, and the off-road racing manager for the AMA.
That's right.
This guy lives and breathes dirt bikes. He has the job that we all want. Well, we think we want until we have to put in the hours he does.
It could be worse. It could be in a shop, hot days, stuff like that. So no, I'm definitely blessed of what I get to do.
Logan has been racing bikes for what, your whole life, basically?
Since I was 3 years old.
3 years old.
Started at the Pine Cone, riding buddy class with my dad, and upgraded from there.
So the format of this, the way we're going to kind of do things is we're going to give updates on the weekend previous, and we're going to give like sneak peeks into the upcoming weekend, kind of push things out, let everybody know what's going on. We will give information on anything that may have happened or changed rules-wise or anything like that in the district. New news. With Logan with us, he can give us an AMA perspective on things. And then we want to start, like I said, answering questions. If people want to comment in live streams or send emails, if you send an email, we can answer the question the next week. We also want to start doing interviews with, legends of the Michigan racing scene, where we plan on bringing in track owners and club presidents and people who have been influential in District 14 and Michigan racing in general. I know a lot of people see me and think motocross podcast. It's not. This is a racing podcast. This is all types of dirt bike and ATV racing in Michigan. I know the name of the podcast is Dirt Bike Download. I just couldn't fit ATV in there in a cool way. So just know you guys aren't being left out. So I guess we'll start with season kicked off last weekend. We had an area qualifier at Dutch. They got it in.
They got it in.
They got it in. They got it in. Kudos to Dutch for putting in, the whole crew at Dutch for putting in a ton of hours from Wednesday on trying to get that track around. For anyone that knows, I love the people at Dutch, but for anybody who's ever raced at Dutch, they don't have good luck with the weather. And when it rains, it's not good.
Especially the qualifier. It seems like they always just get monsoons.
Yeah, and let's be honest. Running qualifiers in Michigan the first week of April is probably not the
dicey.
Greatest. Yeah, and it's not the track's fault. They have to take what they get, but it's dicey. I know they've had national hair scrambles and stuff there back in the day that were just horrible too.
Yeah, they've had good ones too.
Yeah, for sure. So, like I said, Dutch, they got it in. They ended up having to switch all of the qualifier classes and all of the racing to Sunday, and somehow got all of that done by 4:30 p.m. So that was good. Track came around.
I saw videos look pretty good.
From everybody I've talked to, it was tacky. It was good. I know that they spent tens and 20s of hours in the dozer scraping that down. And you can only scrape it so far because the dirt gets really hard there.
Right.
So like I said, kudos to Dutch for getting that in. That was the motocross season starter. We have the second round of the motocross series this coming weekend at Valley Motocross. Steve and Sydney Moreland and Stella. Everybody who's been to Valley knows that Valley puts on a hell of a show. They pack them in, numbers galore. Steve and Adam and Sydney, they always have a lot of things planned for their campers and the kids. They run a really good program. Steve's one of those guys that cares probably more than most people do. Steve does a great job. So we have that. They're doing an optional practice, I think, on Friday. Optional practice if people want to get some practice in, especially if they've never been there before, with it being Loretta's weekend. And then District 14 classes and qualifier classes on Saturday and Sunday. If you plan on going there to qualify, make sure you check the qualifier schedule on mxsports.com. Because not all classes run each day. All District 14 classes will run each day, but your class that you want to qualify in, the way MX Sports breaks that up, it's certain classes on Saturday and certain classes on Sunday. So make sure you check the qualifier schedule, see when your class is up, and that'll be, like I said, Valley MX, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, the opener of the Michigan off-road season is this weekend. I may be a little bit biased, but it's at Battle Creek Motorcycle Club, our place, which is where we're at right now. Motorcycle Club has let us do this podcast here at BCMC. Logan and I are both members here. I might be biased. I think it's always the best sprint enduro of the year. I know we didn't get track of the year last year, but track of the year is tough. It always goes to one of the ones that's later on in the year. We got it the year before and probably shouldn't have.
It really is a lot of weather dependent too. You know, wherever we go that has perfect conditions, perfect dirt. I mean, in every track we go to, they do such a good job. Like I didn't have a bad race last year, so it kind of comes down to weather and how the track turns around and stuff like that. And last year Muskegon got it, but we just had really good luck last year with weather, and so far this year we're looking the same for this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, and I heard from a lot of people that Muskegon was awesome. Those guys put a ton of work in, and it was another one of those, like, you guys, everybody's heard the perfect storm. Well, Logan got the perfect storm last year in the opposite way with like every round.
Yeah. Where
it was perfect. I mean, we were dry at Battle Creek. We got rain 4 days before last year, and it just made absolutely epic conditions. And honestly, right now, the same thing is happening, except for we weren't dry. We were just monsoon. We came out here Saturday and we had lakes.
I didn't even get my truck parked in the parking lot, and James and Byron and everybody comes over to me and says, "All right, when are we rescheduling this race for?" And I said, "We're not rescheduling." So all we saw was the parking lot was completely underwater, and we had a little club meeting and decided we weren't going to do any work because it was raining. And then all of a sudden, Byron came running in, and it stopped raining. We got an hour. Let's go do some work. So we go out in the woods, and we had endurocross section to ribbon out, and we got a bunch of the club members around and started doing it, and we're walking around in the woods going, holy crap,
it was rideable.
We could race.
Yeah, it was rideable.
Yeah, the parking lot was horrible. Like, we weren't going to be able to park anybody last weekend, but out in the woods was great. And then
Logan pulled in, got out of his truck, and was like, what is this, the Battle Creek Jet Ski Club?
Yeah,
because it was
nice. But we went out in the woods, and like I said, a lot of it was probably going to be really good. Some of it was wet, but it was all rideable. The motor track was rideable. And then we put in a new flagger tower, and that was good. All the dirt underneath when we were digging to put that up was really good. And, I didn't come out Sunday, but then I came back out here on Monday, and what a difference. I mean,
huge difference. The
entire lake in the parking lot was gone. Now we've got parking that's good, and the track has only gotten better. Justin and we rode today, and I think I did 4 laps. Justin, I think, probably did 6. And
Justin stayed out.
Our bikes are barely even dirty. Like, it's so good right now. And it's actually getting to the point where it's some of the open spots are a little dusty. So
we're going to be watering.
We'll probably be watering the moto track. So, but the rest of it is just killer.
Yeah, I think we'll be watering the moto track. I think the woods are going to stay really good. Yeah,
sure.
If you're on the fence about Michigan Sprint Enduro this weekend, and I'm not just saying this because it's Battle Creek, just in general, it could be anywhere. If you're on the fence for this weekend, get off the fence, because the dirt. I haven't hardly raced in 2 years, and I'm racing it this Sunday because the dirt it's hero dirt. It's epic right now.
I mean, I think that's any track we're talking about this weekend. Like you're on the phone with Adam, and Adam's out at Valley, and he's saying, "Wow, track looks great."
Can't believe it.
So I think if you're sitting at home and you're like, "Well, it rained a bunch and it's gonna be wet no matter where I go," like
it's not.
Get on the district website, find a place to go. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. And no, I mean, and that brings me kind of another point. Like Logan, you travel all over the place. You go to a lot of races. We're lucky in Michigan
for sure
to have the facilities we have, the tracks that we have, the clubs that we have. Like we are lucky. Most people don't realize that. You know, I know that every race series has their issues, but Michigan in general is lucky. There's no other place that has this many places together and top notch places.
Right. I mean, it's you got moto tracks in different states and this and that, but when you look at off road, most of the series take up multiple states.
Yeah,
because they have to.
Yeah.
They have to be able to go to different places and get a schedule in. We're very fortunate that we have 8 to 10 places that we can race off road. And how many moto tracks do we have?
11.
Yeah. So that's it's the district being strong in a whole, and just the sport in general in this state is just it's booming. I mean, it's been good my whole life, and I think now is probably the best I've ever seen it. COVID really, helped us out in a way. Got people outside, got them on dirt bikes, got them trying out new sports, and we saw a big spike after 2020, and it's been growing, and it seems like it's grown every year, and we're kind of hitting the plateau right now, I think. At a really good spot. I mean,
gas prices.
Yeah, I mean, but our plateau is, we could barely park everybody here last year.
Yeah,
so,
we're using overflow.
Yeah, I mean, if we get any bigger, it's gonna be a problem,
Yeah, then you start running into like the problems that Hair Scrambles ran into. It's time to start doing split programs because there's just so many people. And moto's been that way. I mean, I've been at Valley here, Redbud. I mean, plenty of places with over 500 entries. When you get 500 entries on a day, you're packed.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've been to races in other states, and unless it's a qualifier or a big race, most places are getting a couple hundred entries. I mean, and I was just talking to Brian Kidner about this the other day, how far things have come. I mean, for the off-road world to have to worry about having places to park people.
Yeah.
And when one of the times he was chairman of the Hair Scramble division, they were ecstatic to get 125 entries in 07, 08.
Yeah, when we started the Sprint Girl series, 150 riders, I was like, cool, this is awesome. And so now we're at 480 and stuff like that. So at one point in time, I did math, and I had long conversations with Byron about this. We can't handle any more than 300 riders. Like, we're gonna have to start capping races at 300 riders. But then we figured out ways to do it. Sending 2 riders at a time. And you can't deter people from coming. You can't push people away. Like, you got to accept everybody to come. So we figured out ways to make it work. And if our biggest problem is figuring out where to park them, I love it.
That's a great problem to have. That's what Brian said. Great problem to have.
Yeah.
So that actually kind of segues into, I didn't really plan a whole lot for this because it was last second and trying to get everything together. But I figured we've got Logan on here. He's going to help me with probably most of these, but we've got Logan on here. Why not start it off tonight with, where did the Sprint Enduro idea come from? What made you want to do it? How did that come about? I know a lot of people love the series, so let's get the Sprint Enduro story.
It goes back.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, so it goes back to 2016. I want to say it was 2016. I was working at College Bike Shop in Lansing, and I went down and raced at the time, it was a full gas Sprint Enduro. It was down in Indiana. I'd never done one before. Went down there. Tyler Vore was there with me. Race Vollmer, Steve Vollmer, a couple other guys that I knew, and we raced that weekend. And at that race, we just kept coming back to the pits and just talking about, we need to have this in Michigan.
Yeah,
like, it needs to happen. How do we do it? And then from there, I basically came home from that race trying to figure out how to make it happen. Like, we need to have races, Sprint Enduro style, in Michigan. I've never had so much fun on a dirt bike. So it kind of was on the back burner just a little bit of let's see how we can make it happen. And I actually started reaching out to properties. I didn't know how to do it. At that time I had never even worked a race.
Yeah.
Like I've only raced them.
Yeah.
I never worked a race. I never even worked a check at an enduro. Nothing. Like never even sat in a flagger stand. Nothing. Never raced. So I just started calling places in Michigan. You know, where can we have a race? And I wasn't at first. I wasn't going after existing tracks. I called every ski resort.
Yeah, you wanted virgin ground.
I wanted something new, and I called every ski resort in Michigan, begging them, "Can I have a race at your property? I'll pay you. I'll pay you." You know, hell no, you're not racing on my property. I'm not having dirt bikes on my property.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I was working at College Bike Shop. I was a parts manager there, and Corey Parlin was Parts Unlimited rep.
Mm-hmm.
And so Corey came in weekly, and then Corey and I started having conversations like, you know, we need to make this happen, and basically on a weekly basis for the hour or two that Corey came into the shop, we talked about how we can make this happen while he counted tubes and made orders for us and got our Parts Unlimited order made for the week. And just kind of went on from there. And then seeing as, you know, the Parlins with Claire and Corey and Andy and everybody being pretty influential here at Battle Creek, he's like, let's just do it at Battle Creek. I'm like, okay, yeah, if they want to do it, let's do it. So then Corey put me in contact, Doug Lindsay. So I'd never met Doug before that. And Byron Kibbe. And Byron I had known just from doing hair scrambles.
Yeah, because Byron's a legend.
You know, I've ran into Byron in the middle of the woods in Kentucky at a GNCC before, like a long time ago. So got talking with them, met them at Pizza Hut in Charlotte, had a conversation of how we're going to do it. And then in 2017, at the end of the year, we did a one-off race. The club did all the work. You know, they got the track ready. I kind of played a part in that and put it together. And it was just, let's have one race. Let's see how many people show up and see if it's what people want to do. Like, is this even something people want to do? They're already racing hair scrambles and enduros. It's something new like this, what they want to do. And a one-off race that didn't pay any points. You know what? I think we just used leftover trophies. It was kind of just like, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And 170 people showed up in a random October day.
That's a good first time.
And we had really, really good feedback. And from there it was, okay, it's now we need to make this a series. So then I'm calling other tracks and put together a series going into 2018. And right about the time I had a schedule done, Eric Kudla from the AMA called and said, do you want to do an ISD qualifier? And I said, I like literally jumped out of my seat at the time and let's do this. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. And he's like, well, do you have a place to do it? I'm like, well, Battle Creek's what got us started. So it needs to happen at Battle Creek. And so we just kind of talked about how it would happen. And at that time, you know, ISE qualifiers was a 3-race series that they did East and a 3-race series in the West. You know, now it's just one race. So we typically don't get it anymore. But, you know, from I've never worked a race before to 2017, you know, I put on my first race, you know, obviously with big help from the club.
Yeah.
That's the first time I ever worked a race. And then
to an ISD qualifier.
To the second race being an ISD qualifier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the second race, we had 350 riders.
And we had some hitters out here for that ISD.
We had guys come from California.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Anson Maloney, right?
Anson, yeah.
He came here several times.
Yeah. He's been here twice. Nate Furterer had showed up, and then obviously, you know, Tyler Bohr. Yeah. You know, he always did good here too. Talon. You know,
Furterer is the one that rode the 09 YZ125 and just killed everybody.
Well, no, he didn't kill everybody. Tyler had it won.
Oh.
Tyler ran out of gas.
Yeah. But he was just like clutch destroying that thing.
He was ripping on it. Yeah.
The helmet cam is still on YouTube and it's insane.
Yeah, I watch it once in a while.
Yeah.
So in 2018 we started that first series, and I mean, I don't know how many races we've had now, 50 races or something like
6, 7 a year ever since.
And I think this year's year 9, so next year will be year 10. And you know, it's by starting that 2017, it's changed my life.
Yeah.
So
well, look at how your life has changed just in general. I mean, you were a kid, married, you know, but a kid hanging out. Now you got 2 kids.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't even married at that time. So
oh yeah, that's true.
I mean, it was and he actually I think Ann and I had only been together for a couple years, but after I got the call for the ISC qualifier, shortly after that, Alan Rant called me. Do you want to work for National Enduro?
Yeah.
And it was
You went from not ever working a race to working races all the time.
Right.
Now it's your life.
And so I met with him, and he said, I've been looking for somebody to kind of take this over. Enduro engineering is getting huge, and I need somebody to fill a big role and take a big load off of my plate. And since you're starting these sprint enduros, and he actually came to that first one in 2017 to help out with scoring and just help, and was, I guess, impressed that I was able to do what we were able to do. And so he offered me a job to work National Enduro, which I did for 7 years, 6.5 years, and then by doing that opened doors, and now I'm at
it all leads into like I said, you went from never working a race before to working races all the time, running your own races, and now overseeing all the off-road races in the country in 9 years.
Exactly.
It's wild.
So
wow, what a decade can do.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's been that long, to be honest with you. I mean, to look back at it, the first year, and I did it out of my 1997 Chevy Express, big yellow van. We didn't even have a trailer. We didn't have anything. We're sleeping in the van. All of our equipment is in the van. And, basically her and I, she was working sign up, and her parents would come and work sign up. And, obviously it's big part of the clubs. Like the clubs, big part of it. They're putting on the race. They're putting in the work to build the trails. But the series itself was, myself doing a big work of it. And then
there's a family business.
My wife and her family working sign up. And 2 years later, or actually I think it was halfway through the second season, Sean Elkins, him and I kind of known each other for a long time. I was actually his hockey coach a long time ago. I was in high school, and he was quite a bit younger, and I think he was in squirts or something like that. And, I was one of his coaches, and then, we didn't really talk for a few years.
He went the moto route.
And then we met back up when he was working at TC Power Sports, and I was working at TC Power Sports, and kind of then is when we kind of became friends, but more like acquaintances. I wouldn't say friends. And then shortly after that, I would say we became friends, and now he's my best friend. So, but
he just fight like brothers.
He got to the point where he sold everything. I mean, everything.
Yeah, he was full moto, and then this was nothing.
I mean, he didn't even, I think he had a helmet and maybe some boots left, and that was it. And I was like, man, you can't give up the sport.
Yeah.
Like, you just need to do it differently. And I said, that's when I said, come and help me with these sprint enduros. I know you don't know anything about off-road, but just come help. Yeah. Just come be around it. And I remember going to the first race. It was at Log Road, and we were setting up a check, and he's going over, and he's like, he comes over to me and goes, these pro class guys, they're so cool. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, they're just like normal people.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's what they are.
Yeah, that's one thing about the off-road racing world that I tell people all the time. It's like, it is so familial.
Yeah.
Like people don't hate each other. They're all hanging out. They'll help anybody. You need a tube to turn around.
Yep.
Like they got one for you.
And so he was that moment right there, just it flipped it for him. He's like, you know what? I need to be part of this community. And especially on the off-road side, because it's just like you said, it's family. He came from the moto side, and there is a little bit of that in moto too. Like, don't get me wrong, moto's family too, but the way he was doing it and going to pro-ams and doing this, it's really cutthroat. Like, everybody wants that next ride, and he was one of them. And trying to get pro license, and it got to the point where it was stressful. Mm-hmm. And so
it turns into not fun.
Then we got him out here on the off-road side, and then him and I rode a couple races in team. I just let him ride my bike, and got him on the off-road side. Polka Dots was his first time ever riding a trail when we went to that hare scramble. So, and so that was 2018. So he's been around ever since, and couldn't do it without him. Honestly, we wouldn't be to the point we are. I wasn't gonna be able to do it all by myself, and I still can't, and I'll never claim that I can. So having certain people come in was a big blessing for sure.
Yeah, and like I said, you got good help. I mean, he drives us both nuts sometimes, but I love him. You love him.
Yeah.
And now you have Brandon. Right. Brandon's great. Another converted moto guy. Not completely converted, but
I wouldn't say that because he raced hair scrambles as a kid.
Yeah.
His dad's a full on off road guy.
Yeah. He hit the moto thing pretty hard.
He got good at it. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So he went with what he was good at and made it to Loretta's a couple of times. And now he's at that same point too, where he's got a family
and again, one of the nicest people in the pits.
Yeah, he wants to ride and help out, and he's a really good help. And now he's a club member here also. And we ride at his family farm up in DeWitt quite a bit, and that's another thing. Like with Sprint Girls, it brought in somebody else like that now I consider a good friend.
Yeah. So on the Sprint Enduro side of things, since we're getting ready to kick the season off, how many years now has Talon won? It's like 6.
6. He's won 6 straight. Yeah.
6 straight.
Yeah. So we've only ever had 2 winners.
Yeah, Tyler and Talon.
Yep.
Yeah. Now I know Travis got close last year.
Yeah. Travis wouldn't have crashed. Travis Sewell from Indiana. He came up, and Travis is good. He's an old arena cross
for people
rider.
that don't know, like Travis was he top 10 some outdoor nationals.
Yeah,
he was like national number 2 in arena cross.
Kawasaki support.
Yeah, he was Kawasaki guy.
He was really good in the arena cross side and good in the moto side, and he's been racing off road. I see he's been doing some hard enduro too.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. But he had a really good year last year and was riding good. And Talon missed a race, a wedding.
Down to it, like the last round, it was like whoever won.
It was the last 2. Like if Travis would have got second at Valley and second at Battle Creek, he would have won the championship. And he had a gnarly crash at Valley.
Yeah.
He clipped a tree that knocked the handlebars right out of his hands and went straight into another one. And we had Ross Fernandez doing the follow cam.
He caught it on camera.
Caught it on camera, and it was like we couldn't believe he was walking. He actually said he thought he broke his femur when he hit the tree.
Yeah.
But, it was a bummer to see him go down because I think he had it in him to get second that day and could have won the championship. So I hope to see him back out this year because
for sure. It seems like he's doing a lot more off-road riding than moto riding. Like I think he just
he's fully converted off-road.
Yeah, he enjoys it.
Yeah,
it's lower pressure.
He's done some Indiana racing off-road.
There's some IXCR stuff,
IXCR crossroads stuff like that.
And we get a lot, and that's another thing I was going to say about like this round, and it happens and I keep telling moto guys like, if you're wanting to dabble in off-road, Sprint Enduro is the best way to do it. But Sprint Enduro at Battle Creek, if you're a moto guy, because we use so much of our moto track,
right? And
we get a lot of moto guys for the Sprint Enduro here, and with it being in Lower Michigan, we get a lot of Indiana people,
right? A
lot. Factory Heingartner, Asagi, where he comes up and rides it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that show up for it, and it's a blast.
Yeah, Brad Esper from PA showed up.
It's I've never talked to a moto dude that got done with one of those and said, "Oh, I hated it."
Right.
They all love it. They're like, "Oh, it's so much fun."
Yeah.
So much fun. And I'm a moto guy.
It's probably the easiest way to convert moto guys over because a hair scramble
is grueling.
You're going 2 hours. You got to survive it sometimes. Sprint, you go 10 minutes, 10, 12 minutes as hard as you can go, take a break.
Yeah.
Do it again.
And now you've kind of changed it a little bit too, where it used to be a break after every test.
Right.
And now you've started doing go from the cross into the enduro and then take a break.
Yeah, that was one of the things that we came up with.
Speeds the program.
Because, it was the number.
Yeah.
We needed to keep it rolling better somehow. And actually it came down to a race at Eagle where a test finished across the street from the fairgrounds, and you would have actually had to transfer into the fairgrounds and then transfer back out and be 2-way traffic on a road. And we just thought that was silly. So let's just keep you out there. And we did it. It was really hot and dry that day. But people liked it. But what they didn't like was they didn't have any water.
Yeah.
So I said, well, if I provide water for you, is this the way you want to do it? And everybody said, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I went out to Walmart for the next race and bought a bunch of cases of water and put it out there. So at least when you finish the cross test, you get a drink of water or Gatorade in maybe 5 minutes or so.
And wasn't it the next one was like super hot too?
It was.
Was that Twisted?
No, it was Valley Trail Riders race in West Branch.
Yeah, and it was like just stagnant, no wind, hot, humid.
Yeah, it was pretty hot. And we put all the waters right on top of a bee's nest too, so we stung everybody on the first test. So a little insult to injury. But
I'll give you some water, but
But now we're lucky because we have Tyler and Carly Gugamos has come on and Moscow Fitness, So all the water and Gatorade that we have at every race, Tyler gets online, puts an order in at Meyer for pickup. I drive down to the local Meijer, pick up all the water. He's paid for it. So even though he's not at the races, he's paid for all of that hydration. And you know, when we do know it's going to be hot, I'll say, hey, it's going to be hot and dusty. Order extra.
Yeah, and I mean it's a great sponsor to have, but just having somebody that cares about the riders that much.
Right.
I mean, it's even if they can't be there.
Yeah, that's kind of always been the thing with the sprint girls. Like most of our sponsors,
As I say, you told me before you've had them.
you know, they don't always give money. Like when I look at a sponsor, and most of the sponsors will tell you this when they reach out, is how do we give back to the riders?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, we've got ones that'll donate product. We've got some that'll donate the water and stuff like that. Some help us out with trophies.
Yep.
You know, it's all to go back how do we make this better for the riders?
Yeah. And like I said, I've been to a few of your banquets, and you do a fantastic job of that. I mean, you do a good job getting stuff. You have good taste, so you do a good job picking stuff out. But you also have good sponsors that provide a lot of things. No, like I said, I've watched it from the start, and sprint enduros have come a long way. And I was a moto guy, and I would say sprints are probably my favorite form of racing. You got me into doing a couple enduros. Horrible idea.
Well, you weren't supposed to get in a car accident the day before.
Also true.
Yeah.
So yeah, got in a car accident the day before, and then broke my clutch lever 50 feet off the starting line.
If that.
On a 450.
At least we got a video of it. Though.
I think you can hear me swear when I hit the ground. Yeah. So full moto.
So we're riding a 450 YZ through Valley Trail Rider Enduro.
Yeah. Which
is one of the tightest, hottest, longest.
With a nub.
With no clutch lever. Yeah, that wasn't going to go well.
And then went and did Jack Pine a couple weeks later. First time ever.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll touch on that too for everybody that's like in the off-road world, everybody knows, but this year is the 100th running of the Jack Pine Enduro. I'm thinking it's going to be packed.
Yeah.
It's going to be big.
Yep. Make sure you look for when sign-up opens.
Yeah, because this is the oldest running off-road race in the world.
I got to confirm that. It's definitely the oldest enduro.
Yeah.
I think Pikes Peak might be.
Yeah,
but you're looking at that and ISDE because this year's the 100th ISDE also.
Yeah.
So
they kind of are in conjunction with each other.
Yeah. So there's only been a few years where the Jack Pine didn't get to run. I've always said there's only two things that stop Jack Pine, and it's Hitler and Whitmer. So World War, and then COVID are the only really things that put a stop to Jack Pine.
Yeah, because getting outside and riding a dirt bike is definitely going to spread COVID.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, but no, it's no secret. Anybody that knows me knows that's my favorite race of the year. It's my one vacation a year.
I had never been to Jack Pine. My first Jack Pine experience was with you, and it happened to be the year that you won it as grand champion, which was awesome to be there and see you get that win because you're an enduro guy, and that's the pinnacle of enduro. So for you to get that win, but my first Jack Pine experience was with you, and I can tell everybody I got the full experience. I got the John Penton movie on Saturday night. I got it all. Yeah. I got it all.
Yeah, we made sure we played that because obviously
I had no clue.
There's so much history with that race, and then anybody that knows off-road racing, John Penton was pretty influential, and it was the one race on his calendar he circled every year because back in the day, Jack Pine was the national enduro.
Yeah, and it was from Lansing to.
If you won Jack Pine, you were the national champion. Yeah. So that was pretty special, and John Penton used to ride his bike to Jack Pine, win the race, ride it home, drop the trophy off, keep going to Florida.
And that's back when they were riding BSAs and Poltacos and Triumphs and Harley Davidson, just through sand washes and everything else.
Yep. I wonder if they're going to do a sidecar class this year.
That would be so awesome.
At least for a test or two.
That would be sweet. So 100th running of the Jack Pine Enduro this year. Once again, just another reason why we are lucky in the state of Michigan for the racing that we have. So you got 6 rounds on the schedule this year?
We had 7.
Yeah, 7. Almost got that ski resort.
Yeah.
Still working on those.
I've been on the ski resort since I started this thing.
So if anybody knows of a ski resort, get a hold of Logan if they'll let them race.
I've called every ski resort. They're probably sick of me. Most of them are sick of me. They don't even answer the phone or text or anything anymore. But
anybody who rode the Otsego Club back in the day for the GP up there, riding ski resorts.
I had them on the hook a couple years ago, and they backed out last minute too. But yeah, so we have 6 on the schedule this year now after we lost Skyline. So, but we've got good ones. We've got some new ones. Roush Road, Whiskey Creek. We've never been to those.
Which have been Hare Scramble staples.
Yeah, and,
Well, I mean,
and
Roush
polka
Road's
dots
new.
and polka dots
Polka
too.
Dot- yeah, polka dots hasn't been sprint yet either.
But polka dots is going to be cool because we're only going to have one test on their property.
I say they got some other land.
So we got a cross test that's going to happen on. We're going to use the moto track and some stuff there, and then we're going to transfer down the road. I think it's a 2-mile transfer ride down the road, and then we're going to have a virgin enduro test. I know they've already been working on it, so I need to go up there and see it. But
Speaking of transfers, so that first year of Jack Bine that I went with you, that was the year of the 22-mile transfer trail.
yeah, I love it.
I mean, you won it, and it took you 55 minutes. I thought I was lost.
I ended up having to race through it because I didn't realize it at first.
Yeah.
I think it was like I looked down at my watch and saw the next test started at 10:15 or something like that, and I'm thinking, oh, I've got 15 minutes to get there. And it was only 9:15 at the time. I had an hour to get there, and I didn't realize it. So I was just putzing around and cruising, and then we went like 4 miles, and I'm like, oh crap,
We're still going.
we gotta go. So actually, I picked up the pace and had to like almost race through it.
Yeah, and it still took you almost an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how long I was out there. I know at one point I hadn't seen anybody in a long time, and I literally just stopped. It was like, I'll wait for another bike to come by and see if I'll either get somebody who's on the RV trail or I'll get a racer. And eventually somebody came by, and I was like, oh,
We
sweet.
still had arrows. It's good.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah.
They were just few and far between.
That's the way it used to be, though.
Yeah, that's true. I thought I was lost in the wilderness.
Yeah.
I was out. So yeah, so 6 rounds this year. What's the finale? Polka Dots is the finale this year, right?
Yeah.
And you go to your banquet at the finale.
Yep. So we started out at Battle Creek. A few weeks later, we're going to Twisted Trails in May. Then we go Roush Road, Whiskey Creek, Valley Trail Riders, and Polka Dots.
All right. So if you haven't been out yet, check out the Michigan Sprint Enduros. If you've been to a Michigan Sprint Enduro, I know you loved it, so come back out again. Any one of the 6 races this year, but do them all. Do them all. It's a worthwhile series to go to for sure. So switching gears a little bit on the AMA front. You know, everybody on the motocross side is wigging out about this whole everyone has to wear chest protectors, and it's their constitutional right to not have to wear a chest protector. Can you give us a little bit of insight into that? Like what's
So
purpose?
the purpose is because the insurance companies look at every injury that ever happens. Every race has to report injuries, and the report coming back to the insurance company was broken ribs, broken sternum,
torso injuries. Yeah.
torso injuries, and then isn't there chest protectors that these people are wearing? And it's like, well, some do.
Yeah.
And they go, well, why isn't everybody?
Yeah.
And I agree. Like,
Because the insurance landscape right now is scary.
Yeah, it's year by year. We hope, in December and January at our office, it's all about insurance. Do we have insurance next year?
Yeah.
I used to be the guy that didn't wear chest protectors.
Same.
I went 10 years without a chest protector. And then I started wearing one again. Don't remember why. I think actually what it was is a buddy of mine broke his sternum, and he didn't have a chest protector on. He crashed and landed right on a stump with his chest and broke his sternum. And if I had a chest protector on, that wouldn't happen. So it's a cheap insurance policy. Chest protectors nowadays are not what they used to be.
No. It's not the old Hallman with the huge shoulder cups.
Shoulder pads that are just, you turn your head and your chin bar's hitting it.
Yeah.
Big plastic, doesn't have any flex to it, doesn't let any airflow.
No, I know you wear an Alpine Stars. I wear an Alpine Stars
Yeah.
one, and it's like they're not even there.
They make them for under the jerseys.
Yeah.
If you get the right one that fits you correctly, you don't even notice it.
Yeah.
So it's not a big deal to put one on. But what it's doing is it's making it so that we can still get insurance.
Yeah.
And still, without insurance, we don't have races.
Well, I hate to steal it from like the street bike goons, but it's like you dress for the slide, not for the ride.
Right.
Like, I mean, everyone knows riding dirt bikes. It's not if you're going to crash, it's when.
Right.
So why not take the precautions necessary? Now, I mean, I'm not one of those people that wears like the Liette full sleeve.
No, and that's up to you.
Yeah.
The rule states that you have to have your front and back covered, and you need to have at least I can't remember if it's L or T or whatever, 1 through 12
Yeah.
covered.
Yeah, I think it's T1 through T12.
Yep. So It's not asking you to put on elbow pads. You don't even have to have shoulder pads.
Yeah.
You just need
Just
chest
front
and
and
back
back. Yeah.
protected.
And it's only motocross this year for everyone.
It's
It's
all
youth.
youth. Youth has been that way for 3 years.
Yeah, youth's been that way for 3 years. But
Yeah.
this year, it's purely motocross
Motocross.
across the board.
Yes.
But it's coming
It's a proposed rule already for off-road commission. It's already been discussed.
for 2026.
The next meeting, it's going to get voted on. 99% chance it's going to get approved.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be an off-road also.
Yeah, so you might as well just get one now and start wearing it and get used to it.
Yeah. But I do know, I've got a kids one and an adult one in my trailer at all times. So
We have them in the clubhouse.
a
a lot of tracks now.
A lot of clubs have them.
Yeah.
So if you don't have one, you show up at a race. Don't use it as a safety net. Don't go.
Yeah.
Well, they have one, so I'll just wear theirs.
Yeah.
It's if you forget it, we're not going to turn. We don't want to turn you away and not let you race. Wear one of ours, and we're not giving you the old one. I've got a nice Fox one for the kids and an Alpine Star. The exact same one that I wear.
Yeah, we want people to be able to race.
Yeah, and then there's also vendors. I mean, there's very few races nowadays that doesn't have a vendor at it.
Absolutely.
I know, with motocross, it depends on the track you're at, but almost every time there's the local dealership or whatever is there. We've always got Trojan Power Sports at the Sprint Duros. I know Epic Power Sports is always at the Hare Scramble. So
we have Michigan MX Tire at
Yes.
every moto race.
So they always have, and Matt Harris showed me he's got chest protectors, ready to go. I know Rob at Trojan, they always have what you need. So if you want to show up at the race and buy one there, you've got that option.
Yeah. So is there anything else that you can think of that's coming down, changes that might happen in the next year people might want to be aware of, or?
No, I mean, nothing crazy.
I mean, now we're getting into the season, so there's not a whole lot of.
We've had one commission meeting so far. We're about to have a second, and that's how rules get made. In our area, we've got on the off-road side, we've got Tom Dunn.
Mhm.
He's on the off-road racing commission, former district president.
He's big in the legislature stuff too,
Right.
like
And
land conservation.
We've got I can't remember his name, but we've got somebody from Flat Track,
Jeff Blakely.
So
he's the chairman of the Flat Track Division for District.
Yep. So he's on the track racing or the Flat Track Commission. We've got people in motocross also. So
And then Mike Maurer is still recreation.
recreation.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
So
former enduro chairman.
we've got people that are part of the district. So those are the people that you need to lean on a little bit. They're representing our area in those commissions to vote on this stuff and bring different things to our attention.
I look at commission guys as like the rider reps that we have in the district.
They're the exact same.
Yeah, so it's just on a larger scale.
Yeah.
So like your rider reps, for those that don't know, your rider reps in the district, they're like the liaison from the riders to the boards
Right.
and the division chairs. So an AMA commission representative from Michigan is like your liaison from the district to the AMA.
Exactly. Yep. They're all volunteer people. Some of them are racers. Some of them are chairmans,
Yeah,
district
former-
presidents,
yeah.
all that stuff. So each division, off-road has it, motocross has it, everybody has a commission, and there's like 20 members or more on it. And that's how the rules get made. We go through the rule book and we bring up issues and how do we correct things to fit insurance? How do we correct things to fit modern dirt bike advancements? Electric bikes is a big topic right now. All that gets voted on through commission.
Yeah, I know whenever I talk to any of the guys, and they're like, "Oh, we got commission coming up." Like it's like you said, certain time of year, there's a lot of stuff going on with it.
Right.
And like I said, once again, we are lucky in Michigan to have people that are so involved.
Right.
People that are, like Tom Dunn. So Tom was our district president for a decade, 10 years.
I think longer than that, right?
It was at least 10.
Yeah.
I think he said it was a year 10. He might have did one more after that. But Tom has been involved in the legislature stuff forever.
It still is.
Yeah, and still is. He's the guy constantly involved in the legislature, the bills, all the stuff that's going on with not only with them trying to close public land trails and subdivisions and everything else, but also the insurance protections that they're trying to put into place for tracks. Not only on the safety side, but like the bill that they just voted on with the you can't move next to a racetrack and decide you don't want that racetrack to be there anymore. Because let's be honest, if you're stupid enough to move next to a racetrack and then try to close, that's where they should be having the No Kings protest, is in those people's front yards. It's like, I bought this land, so you can't do what you want on yours. And we've got land for sale around us, and good luck.
Right. Yeah.
Because we've been here almost 100 years.
It's tough. But
yeah.
And just like the AMA commission, just like my job at the AMA, everything, and as well as the district, it's all dirt bike people that are trying to make a difference.
Yeah.
If you don't agree with what the district came up with this year,
use your voice.
There's always reasons why we're doing it. It's not.
Yeah, we don't go to those meetings and go, how can we make them mad?
How do we make them mad?
Yeah.
No, it's a lot of times that it's economy's changed, or we're doing a podcast now instead of a newspaper. It's times have changed, and we're trying to evolve. And every single person in that room that is part of the board, or even just comes to the sanction meeting,
has the riders' best interest at heart.
Has not only the riders, but the clubs.
Yeah, the sport.
Yeah,
the sport in general. Yeah. We don't like when we in any division, we don't change rules or make classes or ban things for sport.
Right.
It's not when we had to put the stop on the pit bike stuff. We all love riding pit bikes.
Yeah.
Riding pit bikes is a blast.
I ride pit bike around here all the time. When
riding pit bikes is a blast, but there's too many people getting hit on them, getting run over by them. Too many people drinking and riding them. Like it was another one of those things that was probably pushing us more towards the uninsurable than anything.
Oh, 100%.
Like it was absolutely. And that went down this last year.
Yeah, so it was like 70% of injury claims happened off the racetrack.
Not on the track.
So the most dangerous part of a dirt bike race wasn't the dirt bike race.
No, it was up to the starting line.
It was the parking lot.
The
swimming holes, this and that. So, and it's one of those things. We go back on the numbers. Mm-hmm. If we had 100 people out here and there was 100 feet between every vehicle, ride pit bikes around.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not that way anymore.
No.
So when you're parked butt to butt on a camper and awning to awning, and you don't have any room between, and a kid comes out, he can't see because he's between two campers and comes right into the road and gets hit by a truck.
Yeah.
That it's one of those things of our biggest issue is the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have the space, and then also the things that happen. So, I sat in an insurance meeting this spring, and they were head over heels happy with how much the claims and everything in the pits went down.
Yeah.
And not just here locally; it's over the entire country.
Yeah, for sure.
And I like James said, I go to a lot of races. I think I went to 38 races last year. 90% of them that I went to was like, this is so much better without pit.
We had people here last year, and several places I went to, but I remember the first sprint last year. The first sprint here last year, BK.
That's my alarm to call in for jury duty.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't have to do that. Yeah. I was a bad boy when I was younger. Yeah. BK and then we're parked over there, and it was like Saturday night after the open ride. We had a huge open ride last year. 300 plus bikes. But by 6 o'clock,
it was quiet.
It was like
a campground.
We were sitting there and it's like a national park. Mm-hmm. Kids are riding their bicycles. They're walking around throwing a football.
Perfect.
It's just not and quiet. You could actually talk to people at your campsite without a billowing cloud of dust from side by sides.
And the pit bike with the PBR exhaust.
Yeah, like I was never, like pit bikes are pit bikes. Sometimes kids do wild shit. We did wild stuff when we were younger. Sorry, I said shit. I said it again. But like the side by sides is what got me.
Yeah.
Like you drove your car to the track. Why did you haul another car with you to drive around the track? Like the side by sides is what got me. And then you have people who get in those side by sides and literally just drive circles all day, like all day long. And like so that. Like I said, people everywhere we went, it was like, man, it's so quiet.
But like we're sitting in one spot here. The furthest part away of the parking lot is what?
250 yards, I think, or 300 yards.
300 yards.
So 900 feet. The furthest point away. At no point when you're on the track are you like you can park. Like from right here, if you went straight out, you're like 200 yards.
Yeah. And the clubhouse is in the center.
Yeah.
So the furthest you're away from the clubhouse is 150 yards.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
I mean, I understand it, and I know like Redbuds allows certain vehicles,
right? But they're huge.
Yeah, I understand.
You could be a mile away.
Literally, I work for Amy at the Redbud National, and like when you're at the night track, and you got to get up to the national track
It's
on national weekend.
Yeah.
And everybody's still on bicycles and stuff now. And man, when you roll by in a golf cart, they are pissed. Because if your staff, you drive, they're mad.
Yeah.
Why do you get to drive that?
Yeah.
But like, I understand it there. I mean,
Yeah.
everywhere else in the state is not that big.
No.
You're never that far from the track. All right. I know we're, I said it was going to be shorter, but then we're almost an hour. I guess when we get talking, we just talk.
Yeah.
We just talk.
So what else we got going on this weekend? We got Valley Motocross.
Valley Motocross, I think that's it.
We're still early in the
We're
year.
still early, yeah. Valley Motocross, yeah, that is it. Let me pull up the D14 schedule here real quick. Because I don't think we get super heavy in until end of this month.
Yeah, I mean, April's really early in the year, so.
Yeah, we're basically just motocross until, so the 19th is the Sand Gobble.
I'll be there.
The Sand Gobble. Grand Kankakee Trail Riders, Illinois. That's another one that's
No,
going around.
Indiana.
Oh, Indiana?
Yeah.
Oh, Lakeville. Damn near Illinois. Is it Lake Village, like
It sits right on the
on the border?
on the central time zone. While you're sitting in your phone will bounce back and forth.
So that's the first. I mean, we have the Sprint Enduro this weekend, and then we have that on the 19th. And then if I'm looking right, I see first hare scramble of the year will be Whiskey Creek on the 26th. Then we start, end of this month, we start getting into some more stuff. ATV MX starts. And then, we'll get into the bulk of things. And the May is when, I always say like the season starts in April, but May is when things really kick off. Once you get May, it's like every week.
Yeah, you schedule in April when you're taking a gamble.
I mean, you might as well just walk to the casino, put $500 in a slot and hit the button. Because who knows?
Yeah.
So. I did have, Jeff Blakely, the Flat Track chairman, sent me a message earlier and asked me while we were on here to kind of shout out if there's anyone interested in becoming a promoter for flat track races to get a hold of him. If you can't find Jeff's information, get a hold of me. I can get it to you. So anyone interested in flat track, one of the forms of motorcycle racing there is, get a hold of Summit District 14, probably me, and I will get your information to Jeff. I grew up around flat track, started going to flat track races a little bit more the last couple of years, and they are a blast. They're a blast to watch.
I went to my first flat track 2 years ago.
Did you go to AFT?
No, vintage motorcycle.
Oh, vintage days, yeah, dude.
So cool.
There,
I got a front row seat because I was a flagger, but
like I said, I hadn't been in a long time. And we've got some kids in Michigan that are insanely fast. I mean, shout out, he's a little buddy of mine, Odin Music. That kid is, I think he's an 8 or a 9-time national champion already. I think he's 10.
Yeah, his name gets brought up at the AMA office quite a bit.
Yeah, he's, we clocked him. We got a radar gun at Cadillac last year at the flat track, and he was, I think, 84 miles an hour on a straightaway on 85 and doesn't let off to go into the corner. We almost hit triple digits. Hammer and Hank. Henry Wiles hit 99 miles an hour on the front straightaway.
It's crazy.
It is. And that's,
I've never rode a flat track bike. I don't know if I would want to, just because of that. But
yeah,
I ride on the ice. It's close. And
we actually had an ice season this year. We had a good ice season.
Yeah.
We had a good ice season. Chris Ice
nobody is more fitting.
Yeah, it's always struck me how hilarious it is. Yeah. It's Chris Ice and he's the ice chairman, but Chris does an amazing job.
He does.
I mean, he helps write the rule book for the AMA for ice racing.
Well, there's not many states that do.
There's not, and that's why we have the Grand National Championships.
That's another reason Michigan.
Yeah, again,
the district. Like, we have every discipline. And
I can tell you right now, I went to the.
Zoomed in somehow.
What's that?
It zoomed in for some reason.
That's weird. I went to the ice racing banquet this year, and I can tell you that it is the best food of any banquet we have in the state.
Really?
I'm not kidding. It's because BK went the year before, and he called me, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to the ice rink." I'm like, "I thought you weren't going. You went last year." He's like, "Oh no, I'm going."
Yeah.
It's the best food. Like he asked Molly, and I was like, "Yeah, we're going."
I didn't go to that.
It is hand carved prime rib. Like it is. Yeah. Chris does an awesome job, and he's really good for a smaller series, especially at getting sponsors. He gets sponsors, gets a lot of giveaways. Chris does an awesome job. He's all right for a quad guy. But yeah, we'll wrap it up. I know Logan's got a call for jury duty. He's got some things to do, family to take care of.
Yeah, hopefully it says I don't have to come. I got 2 more days of it. I haven't done it yet.
So like I said, this was kind of thrown together. Next week will be a lot better. We'll work on an intro video and some other stuff. We're going to start getting some guests on here. But don't be afraid to send your questions in. Especially Logan and I, we have no problem. We will answer them.
Yeah. Anything you got.
You may not like the answer, but know that it will be true.
But that's what we got to get the point across is this is not, mine and James podcast. It's the district podcast.
Yeah.
It's for the riders.
We'll give our opinions on things sometimes, but for the most part, we're giving you information and just straight up.
Yeah, it's you can reach out to either one of us or anybody at the district.
We always answer.
If you've got like a cool story that happened at a race this past weekend, or
send it to us.
Just send it to us. That's what we want. Basically, anything that you would have wanted to see in the paper, send it to us, and we'll talk about it here.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
And
we might even call you and have you explain it yourself.
Exactly. We'll get you involved. We'll get your side of the story. We'll get better on the cameras. We open box. James opened boxes 3 hours ago. So it's like I said, it's the district podcast. It's for the district. If you've got anything, that's
we want
what
your
this platform is
stories. We
for.
want your results. We want all that. We want the bench racing. We want our own little pulp without the Canadian guy.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thanks everybody for joining in. We'll have it back on next Wednesday, same time, same place. See you guys later.
See you guys.